Today I am wanting to work on some character edits for episode 2, and I find that I keep going over the same section over and over again, which seems to happen to me a lot. Perfectionist coming out in me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Troubleshooting Your Novel book and I'm going to write down some actual questions that I find in the character section, so I can ask myself those questions per chapter and then check it off. Because right now what I'm doing is just going through the chapter and not actually checking off that I'm doing the things in that section. So in order to keep myself on a better pace, I'm going to actually write down the questions and check off each individual thing, because I think that will help me to get through it quicker. I'm going to set my timer and I'm going to get started. We'll see how it goes. So I just wanted to show you what I have, right now to help me get through some of this editing. Of course, I have the Troubleshooting Your Novel book that I mentioned in my last video. I have my bullet journal so I can check things off. I have this lovely timer. It's a visual timer, and I can set it to 25 minutes. And that way I can, just focus intensely for those 25 minutes. I've got some highlighters, whiteout, some lotion. I have my digital file open, and I have this notebook here for writing out some questions so I can kind of be messy with it, because it's okay to be messy on this notebook, whereas in my bullet journal I'm a little bit more precious about it. So that's what I have, and then I'm going to transfer these questions here over here to begin with. I'm going to go through the character section here. I've made some highlights here and things of what to kind of focus on in the character section. So I want to take the information here and put it into my journal. So that's the plan right now. About believability questions, and this is a part that I think is really important to look at. So the questions that I have come up with just from reading are, do I have any moments where believability comes into question? So as I'm reading, I need to think, does what I'm doing make sense? Is it plausible within the situation or the rules that I've made up for my world, which comes into question too. Am I playing by the rules in my world? So if I have set up a rule and then I later break it, that is going to be a big red flag for readers. Are going to be like, wait, but you said this other thing, so how can this have changed? So that is a great question to look at when I am going through. Another one here is this the most natural reaction to the situation for my MC? And this is where sometimes I find, maybe I'm inserting myself into my character's, head. Like I'm making my character react as how I would react in this situation. And depending on which character I am working with, I'm editing here, I'm revising here. So depending on which character I'm working with, you know, for instance, my antagonist, Evan, you know, I would not do things that he would do. And so whenever I am actually doing something from his point of view, and even when it's from my main character's point of view, but she's watching him and seeing what he does, I need to make sure that it's not what I would do in the situation, because it needs to be the most natural reaction for his character. So this is a good question to refer back to. I also like in the book that they have these questions here in this believability section. So in action, what causes this character to make this choice? What consequences happen as a result? And then it goes to dialogue, reflection, and description. And so it has some really good questions here that I can use whenever I'm going through. And this section in particular, you know, I'm not going to write everything out, but I know that this will be something that I'll refer back to often whenever I'm going through this whole revision and editing stage. So I just wanted to kind of share with you all a little bit about how this book is helping me and what I think in terms of how it can help you whenever you are working on your edits and revisions. I think that this is in part why this book is so valuable to me, is because it does have all of these questions. And especially if you cannot afford a developmental editor, I think that this is worthwhile to be able to dive into these different things for yourself. It's still always good to have a second set of eyes to kind of look at those things for you. But for me, you know, if you are trying to cut corners a little bit and you're not hiring a developmental editor, I had my teacher and my peers in school to help me, but you know, I feel like there's still work to do. There's still stuff that I need to go through and ask, and these are great questions to start with. Okay, so I finished up about, I think, 4 sections in here in the character section. I wanted to go through as many as I could in the 25 minutes. So 1, 2, 3, and I think 4. So I got through 4 sections and I wrote down the different questions to ask myself. So this was just like reading through again. I've read through some of them several times, but you know, reading through, seeing what questions I could come up with to put here and where I can refer to this when I am going through. So now what I want to do is actually like dive in and try to do the thing. So I'm going to do that for about 25 minutes.